Hello there everybody, Dirt Bubby here, and today I am going to be showing you guys a quick rundown on how to get started farming the Moons of Peril. This is of course the minigame that you unlock after finishing the new Perilous Moons quest that came in the Varlamore update. This place is incredibly cool, it is jam-packed with tons of content, and this is just one of the many things going on in this region. So let's get started going in and yeah, I'll cover the basics for you. So as you can see, my inventory looks a little bit strange, but that's because this whole entire area inside of here is self-sustaining, which means that you can get prayer, stamina, super combats even, and food all from within the area, and it's still efficient to do so. So once you go in here, you can stay honestly forever, and that's a really unique, interesting kind of gameplay experience. So we've got our inventory set up with that in mind, so we've only got one divine super combat and one stamina potion to get us through our first run, and I'll show you guys what it looks like to farm the resources on your way through and show you which ones you need to pay attention to. So everything that you have in your gear is going to be your max strength gear. So everything that you would be wearing for melee, anything that gives you maximum strength bonuses is good to go. The only thing I would recommend is if you have a fighter torso, I would maybe swap that out for something like a piece of Barrow's equipment, simply because defense does help quite a bit in here with some of the mechanics. The Bandos chestplate I feel is totally fine. The tank armor that I have on right here is definitely good enough in my opinion. I've been able to get clears without ever really having to worry, especially with the food they give you inside. It is super duper nice. So this is definitely assuming that you've already finished the Perilous Moons quest, but if you haven't, you can still use this as a little guide to find your way around to each of the bosses. When you first enter the chamber, you're going to want to run down to the southwest. That'll bring you into this big ancient prison area. And now you've got the most annoying part of this session, which is running all the way over to the beginning of it. And on your way here, I'll drink my stamina, I'll drink my super combat, and I'm clicking over there the cooking stove, which you set up during the quest so that you can restore your stamina before you actually go into the fight. But I'm actually full up right here, so I'm going to skip it for now. So going on into the boss room, we can click this statue here, and it'll bring us right into the actual arena. Praying melee and piety is all you need to do for all of the boss fights, and we're immediately stacked up with a whole bunch of people. So as you can see, all I'm doing is walking onto the lit up tile and using my melee to hit the boss. So the way this works is that although you're in a group of a whole bunch of people, each person individually has their own contribution. So I'm 304 damage left until I'm out of here. So as you can see during this special attack, you just have to avoid the blood raining from the sky, and you can even turn off your prayer during these sections because no melee hits are coming your way. I had to run pretty far over there to catch up to these guys, but you can also be assured that this is going to be rotating clockwise every time. That's true for all of them. Even if you make mistakes, it's not that big a deal. You can throw a claw spec in there if you want, even a dragon dagger would be good, or a void waker if you want. Any DPS based spec is going to help a lot. So now we've got ourselves the dogs. You're going to want to go over to the jaguar that has your particular glow around it. This jaguar is going to have stolen your blood, which is an interesting mechanic to say the least. You can see that I'm doing this flinch walk right here. That's a little bit of an advanced method you can use. I'm kind of messing it up, but you can use this method to avoid the damage of the jaguar while also still getting your hits in. So basically you step on the blood and then step back onto the hit of the jaguar, and not only do you hit the jaguar and get the heal, but you also avoid taking damage. So those are the only two special attacks you can expect from the blood fella, and sure enough, after a couple hits just like that, you're gonna be done. So then you're brought into the next region. Just like that, the Earthbound Cavern, you would have come into this area here if you wanted to enter here naturally, but if you finish the boss fight, it brings you here in a flash. So let's go over here and I'll show you how to do the Herblore. There's going to be one bush right next to you here where you can grab yourself some of these Moonlight Grubs. You're going to use the Moonlight Grubs to turn into the Moonlight Grub Paste, and then you can even search all of these supply crates by each of the different cooking stoves, and you can take your Herblore supplies. They're going to go ahead and give you some vials of water, where all you have to do is literally just use them on the other two, and that's it. You get a full potion that gives you a super combat and a large amount of prayer points, and the food is just as good. While you can fish in another region here, I just like to do all my prep right after the first boss because it allows me to stay set up for the rest of the time I'm here. By using a rope on any of these two combinations of rocks right here, any of these pairs, this pair, or this pair, you're going to set up a trap on the ground. And then by rustling these bushes, a lizard races out from it into each of the directions. Depending on your hunter level, more have come out. And just like that, if you're a high enough hunter level, you guarantee yourself a lizard catch every single time, depending on how many traps you have out. You can even set up more traps if you want to bring more ropes, but I just feel like grabbing 2 of these is good enough, because each of these lizards is 100 hit points. If you cook these, you get 3 of these pieces of cooked lizard moss each, or cooked moss lizard each, and each of these pieces heals 33 hit points. So food is a non-issue in here, and so is prayer, especially with these moonlight potions. And now I also have divine super combats ready to go for me here. You can see how much defense I'm given here. You get a divine super defense boost, and I'm plus 24 defense right now, so that's even better than a super combat potion. So once you're in here, it's best to stay in here. So after you go through this area and get yourself all prepped in this little section, you're going to go through this big entrance right next to it with the 2 statues outside to get into your next fight. In here, you're just going to go ahead and click the statue again, have your prayers on, melee and piety, and you're getting right into it. So this is the Ice Moon boss, or the Blue Moon boss rather, and it's going to be the same core mechanic of staying on top of the moon that is lit on the ground, and then attacking it in the middle. And then once you get to enough of a damage threshold, or enough of a time threshold rather, the boss is going to switch to do a special attack. And this boss has 2 special attacks as well. So the first special attack here sends tornadoes going all the way north and south across the room, and you have to run from one side to the other to heal, to light these braziers so that you get your cold debuff removed. If you get hit from a tornado like I did right there, be sure to turn your run energy back on because they actually turn it off. So once you light the 2 braziers, just make your way back to the middle with everybody else. Again, you don't need to have your prayer on for that section, I just didn't turn it off. And I'll go ahead and not do much damage here so you guys can see what the next special attack is. I'll just go ahead and stay on top of the moon. Something interesting is you see that the boss is attacking in 3 hits like that. The higher your defense, the better the benefit is here. Every time the boss attacks you, if you get hit with an attack, then the next hits also have a chance to hit you. But if you block any of the hits of the attack, then the next hits in the series aren't able to hit you. So if it hits a 0 in the beginning, then it'll be 0s after that as well. So having higher defense gear means that you're going to take a lot less damage in the long run. But as you can see here, the glowing is usually the sign of success when it comes to these rooms. If you're ever confused about mechanics, just try and find something that's glowing. What you're doing here is you're kicking the crystals open to free your weapons from them, and all you have to do is avoid those ice crystals that appear on the ground. So get your kicks in, step out, and get back in, and then you'll have your weapon back. Going back over here, standing on top of where we need to be, give him a claw spec. And he's gone, and we're sent out of the arena, just like that. So, that's 2 out of 3, and we're right next to our 3rd and final area. So let's go ahead and make another cuppa. Let's go ahead and mark this object right here so we can see that in the future. Making cuppas restores your run energy, by the way, so it's going to be super useful. Make our way into the final boss room where we're going to be fighting my favorite, honestly, the yellow boss, which has 2 very cool special attack mechanics. So once again, we're praying piety, and we're immediately into the first of the special mechanics. So you're going to want to turn your camera top down for this, and then you're going to very cleverly, an awesome new mechanic, you're just going to point your character in the direction that the boss is, because you're not able to attack them from this range, but what you're doing is you're parrying their attacks. So if you'll see, the boss spawns in a sections of 3, 1, 2, and then 3. You just face each of the different sections of the boss at each time that it's attacking, and you'll parry the attacks, taking no damage and also having a chance to deal damage back to the boss. It's an incredibly cool mechanic in my opinion. And this next one is also a pretty cool mechanic where I'll make sure not to kill the boss here so that we can see it. But there's going to be a big black moon that gets shot out in just a second. There it is. That thing looks so cool, the moon shield. And what you can do here is you can turn your run energy off, and as soon as it starts moving, get walking, because you can walk all the way around consistently and just walk from corner to corner here, these 4 tiles in the room. Once you get to it, just keep on walking, and you'll actually be in pace the whole time to catch up with this thing and stay safe behind it. So staying behind this prevents his attacks from being able to hit you, and it is super duper cool how this works out. So just turn off your run energy and give it a walk, and you'll be good to go. And just like that, you've gone and gotten yourself your first clear of the Perils, or the Perilous Moons, the Moons of Peril, whatever they're called. There's a lot of peril in this. But just like that, the 3rd boss is killed, and we have claimed ourselves the ability to go and loot the loot room. You can see underneath this information here, there's 3 checkboxes to show that we have in fact killed all of them. It spits you out in the same area that you just were, and you're going to want to run south to this door, which is the loot room. I went ahead and labeled the tile as well. And it just like that, you're able to go and claim your lunar chest. Let's see if we get lucky. Nope. But you click over onto the next entrance right here, and you can start the cycle all over. You keep all the supplies that you made from the previous run, so it's really nice to parlay these runs together. And you can see that we saved ourselves all of that time running all the way around here. You just want to click up to make a cuppa, and you can go straight back into the first blood boss again, starting the cycle over. So that's personally how I've been farming these. It's about 10 minutes a run if you're casual and you're prepping on your time. I'd say you can get it down to like 7 minutes a run if you're really gassing it. But honestly, there's a lot of running around in here. That's a lot of what's going on. But it's a very interesting new style of boss where everybody can fight it, but everybody gets pulled out at different times. I honestly am having a blast with it. I can't wait to farm this on my Iron Man and work on getting those new 3 sets. There's so many new mechanics in Varlamore, I'm absolutely overwhelmed. So hopefully I was able to give you guys a little bit of guidance here on how to handle some of these mechanics and get yourself some KC under your belt. I'm going to be here all day, so if you guys want to tune in, I will be on Twitch streaming this exact piece of content for the rest of the day, and I will see you guys there. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.